So I think I finally figured out why they call the Cadillac Lyriq the Lyriq, because if you slow down enough, it starts to sing. The electric Cadillac Lyriq has technically been available since 2022, but production is just starting to ramp up to volume now. And while it launched as a 340 horsepower rear-wheel drive midsize SUV, you can now get it in this 500 horsepower all-wheel drive model. Tech, luxury, and sport trims are available at prices that start just under 60 grand for rear-wheel drive Lyriqs and just over 62 grand with all-wheel drive. While this top-of-the-line, fully loaded sport all-wheel drive checks in just under 80 grand, which means that all the Lyriqs that are built in Spring Hill, Tennessee are eligible for the $7,500 federal tax credit. The interior features a 33-inch OLED widescreen that's used for both the instrument cluster and the infotainment system controls and can display up to 1 billion different colors. But there's also this nice row of physical toggles for the climate control system and this knob here to let you control things on the screen remotely, plus a scroll wheel for the volume control. The screen is very important. In fact, some things can only be controlled from it, including the glove box. While this also has Google Assistant, which can do a few things. Hey Google, turn on the driver's seat vent.
Okay, turning on seat fan for the driver.
Unlike some upcoming Cadillac and General Motors products, this still has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration, but you can also use Google Play to load some apps, including Waze, directly into the infotainment system. The styling in here is very mid-century modern chic, while you can get it in a number of color combinations. This black, white, and chrome one has the sort of vibes you get in an old department store. It even has a jewel box here with this blue trim on the inside. Things are just as nice in the rear seat, and you can thank the Lyriq's electric drivetrain for that, because this has a very long wheelbase to fit its battery pack, which is good for a range of 307 miles per charge in the all-wheel drive model, 314 in the rear-wheel drive model. So there is plenty of room here in the cabin, and on my 6'1" scooch test where I see how I fit behind myself with the front seat set comfortably for me, there's no scooching required. The charge port's on the front driver's side, and you open it by pressing on this Cadillac logo, although that really just presses the button underneath the door, which you have to hit to close it. It takes about 35 minutes to charge to 80% at a fast charging station, and you can get it with a 19.2 kilowatt hour, 240 volt charging, but you need a home charger powerful enough to go with it. This trim is called the Sport, but it does have a more relaxed Tour mode to go with a Sport mode, which lives up to its name. This will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, while the rear-wheel drive model needs a little bit more than 5.5 seconds to reach that speed. And while it is plenty powerful, it's a sophisticated kind of power. It doesn't really punch you in the back like a muscle car, which might not even have as much power as this does, because to go along with its 500 horsepower is 450 pound-feet of torque. And the all-wheel drive version is even rated to tow up to 3,500 pounds. The rear-wheel drive version, not rated at all. As with many electric vehicles, this has a one-pedal driving system where when you're pressing the accelerator, it's giving you power. But as soon as you let up on it, it turns the electric motors into brakes that slow the vehicle down and recharge the battery through regeneration. Even if you're in freewheeling mode, there is a pressure-sensitive paddle behind the steering wheel that you can use basically like a motorcycle handbrake to engage the regenerative braking system and bring the vehicle all the way to a stop, just like the one-pedal drive or the old brake pedal. Oddly, for a modern luxury car, the Lyriq does not have a head-up display, but it does have a rear-view mirror with a built-in camera and a 360-degree camera system for parking. By the way, the singing thing I mentioned earlier, that is the pedestrian alert sound that kicks in at low speeds. And I'm going to be honest, while it's great to have on the outside, it's a little louder than I would like here on the inside, although at least it's pleasant. Top Lyriqs can also be equipped with Cadillac's Super Cruise highway driving feature, which provides hands-free and foot-free driving on hundreds of thousands of miles of North American roads. Plus the ability to automatically change lanes and pass cars with either a flick of the turn signal or automatically if you set it that way. One thing I haven't even talked about yet is how well this rides and handles, and that's because it rides and handles really well. Haven't even had to think about it. Which really sums up this vehicle. It's well executed overall. There aren't any major nails sticking out. In fact, you might say they nailed it.